how you doing? Slynk again with another tutorial, and last time I put up a tutorial we wrote this little song. The tutorial was about chord progressions, and you can check it out with the annotation link right here. But a lot of you guys were asking me how I did my bass chops, so I've deleted the bass chops and we're going to start again from scratch. Basically the idea is I have a bank of keyed bass one-shots in my sample library, and I kind of just dragged a few in and arranged them in a fun sort of funky way. But I'm going to show you how to do that from scratch. So I've deleted the Serum off of this channel here and all the other basses, so all we have is a sub. Okay, and I've left the MIDI information because the way I usually go about writing a bass line is I'll start with a patch and then kind of jam out to figure out what notes I want to use and the timings of those notes and vibrato locations and stuff like that. And then once I've got that established, I'll move on to doing the bass chops. So let's start by designing a simple patch here in Serum. So first thing we want to do is set up the vibrato. So we want to set LFO1 to be affecting the master tuning in back and forth mode at 1 semitone. So it wiggles up and down 1 semitone, and the auxiliary source of that will be macro 1. So when we turn the macro knob up, the vibrato will engage. Also, the LFO1 timing is important because that will determine how fast it wiggles. So if we just turn BPM sync off, it'll automatically set this to 6.3 Hertz, which actually is a pretty decent speed for vibrato, I find. Cool. So let's just map out the macro knob. We'll put this in a rack, Control G, and then we'll just map this to macro 1, and we'll rename this vibrato, and that way we can automate nice and clearly. We have it saying vibrato there, which is very clear in our automation lane, and we can just do our vibratos in those long notes that we had before. Cool, so that's the vibrato. Let's get to designing a bit of a bass line here. So I'm just going to increase the saw wave so it's nice and wide. And I'll add a bit of a sub, 1 octave up, just to give it a bit more balls. And that's all we really want to do inside the patch. Let's distort it a bit to give it a bit of grittiness, a bit of crunch. We'll compress it as well to make sure we don't peak the signal. And we'll also use a multiband dynamics here to cut the lows because we do have a subplane. So we'll cut the lows at 120. So just by soloing the mid channel and turning off the high channel, we're getting everything above 120 Hertz, which is cool because on our sub, we have the exact opposite where we're getting everything below 120 Hertz. And by using the multiband dynamics, it already has the crossover EQs set pretty nicely. So I find this a better way to go about doing signal splitting, frequency splitting, rather than using an EQ. Cool, so with the amp, let's just experiment with that a bit with a few different settings. That sounds pretty cool. And we'll also use an OTT to give it some multiband compression. We're really just boosting the mids quite a lot here. And the glue compressor is bringing everything down to an acceptable level. And because we have the attack set kind of high on the glue compressor, we're maintaining some nice transients. So when the note engages, it's a bit of a snap. Dun, 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 dun. Cool. So now that we have a bit of a sort of standard patch with some notes that we like to use here, what I like to do next is just add a new MIDI channel, and we'll call the MIDI channel measure because in my groove pool here, we're actually using the patented Slynk's funky groove, which I use on almost all of my tracks. And if you want to learn more about grooves, you can check out this other video, which will be annotated as a link right here. All right, so let's call this MIDI channel measure, and we'll just loop it up so we can drag it across this whole section, which we'll be doing a bass for. And what you can see, the reason I'm doing this is because these MIDI notes inside of this groove profile is actually not quite on the grid. So if we look at the 16th grid, you can see it's not quite, it's a bit late. And then if we look at the triplet grid, it's a little bit before the triplet. So I like to have this MIDI clip down in here so that when I zoom in, I know that if I put a sound here, for example, it'll match up with the groove of the rest of the track. Cool. So after that, we can go ahead and start designing some bass sounds and chopping them up and putting them in. So I'll be right back. Peace. All right, guys. So what I've done is just muted everything except for the percussion, so we sort of have an idea of some rhythm. And I've also cut up our bass MIDI clip here and renamed each clip to accord with the key that we're playing inside of that clip, which will make it easier for us later when we're trying to transpose the bass lines that we record to the correct key for the section that we're working on. So what I'm going to do is create a new channel here, and I'll just rename this record. And I'm going to drag a Serum onto this MIDI channel here, and we'll set the output of this Serum channel to go into the record channel, and we'll set the record channel to input mode and hold control and arm both of these. So now when I hit record up top here, you can see I'm recording the MIDI, which we don't really need, but when we're ready, we can turn this back to auto, and we'll have all our sounds down there. All right, so let's think about what we want to do in terms of a bass line. There's so many things we can do. The possibilities are basically endless, but let's do something crazy with a flanger filter or something. And maybe we'll just put a glue compressor on there to make sure that nothing's peaking too hard. Let's put an envelope on this. Oh, that's crazy. That's kind of sweet. Let's grab one of these vocal sounds here. Vocal wavetable. Let's try retro speaking. And we'll send this simple saw wave into the filter as well. We could even set the same envelope onto the level here. We'll reverse it so that it gets louder towards the end of the sound. And we'll do the opposite for this sound maybe. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's hit record. Let's just actually start that again. All right, cool. Let's add another channel here. Call it cutting board. And we'll just store that for later. And then we'll just make another sound. Let's turn this off. We'll turn the filter to maybe bandpass. And we'll grab a different wavetable here. Maybe basic shapes. We'll grab a... Yeah, let's turn this off. Remove all modulators. Let's remove that as well. That's a bunch of different sounds in one there, so let's hit record. Here, let's start again here actually. Something like that. Let's have a listen to that. That's kind of weird. Save that one. Save that one. I think I just like this one little bit here. So we'll save that. Put it over here. That one's kind of nice. That's kind of cool. And anyway, you guys get the idea. So what I'm going to do is just make a few more sounds. Actually, let's make one more sound together. I'll do it in massive. Where are we? Massive. Just to change it up a bit. We'll make like a really weird, clicky, wild sound. So we're just going to put an LFO on the pitch. And let's put the envelope on this rate here. That's kind of nuts. Let's put an envelope on this filter as well, maybe. But we'll use a different envelope. We'll use envelope 3. Actually, maybe we'll put the LFO on this too. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Let's turn some unisono spread up. And this is more of a tonal sound rather than an actual note. So let's just hit record on that. Do we have everything set up? Yeah. Alright, and let's have a listen to it. That one's cool there. And then I did a higher one here, didn't I? Okay. So, again, I'll be back after I make a few more sounds, and then we'll talk about arranging it. Cool. Peace. Alright guys, so I've recorded a bunch more sounds. I actually just dragged in Serum and flipped through a couple presets and twiddled some knobs randomly while I was recording, and I recorded all the sounds using the D key. So what I could actually do is just zoom right in and pick out singular sounds and render them out to a folder called, say, bass one shots, and then a subfolder called D, and slowly build up my library of bass one shots, which would be really cool. But let's have a listen to some of these sounds here. So texturally, they're all very sort of different, which is kind of what we were aiming for, so that when we smash them all together in a nice rhythmic arrangement, then it'll sound really cool, because there'll be all these different textures and different kind of crazy sounds. But yeah, this is where the arrangement part comes in, and it's kind of tricky. It's a little bit trial and error. You've got to drag around samples and see how you go, but let's just choose a sample here randomly to start with. That one's pretty beefy, so we'll start with that one. And let's just make sure that we get the very beginning of that sound. Like that. And okay, so we still have the cutting board down there. We should mute that. And let's turn on everything else here. Now, according to our little guide here, this note actually needs to be an F, and it's a D right now. So D, D sharp, E, F, 1, 2, 3, up 3 semitones. And we might actually transpose that down an octave. So just by holding shift, I can hit the down key. And let's turn this back on, turn the sub back on as well. Actually, we'll keep this off for the time being, our extra little bass here. Because what we might do is just use the vibrato bits. But we'll see about that later. So we'll cut that kind of short. We'll turn the fades on here. And let's grab another random sound. Let's grab this little quack. Little quacking sound there. Alright. And again, we need to go, what was it, up 3 semitones? And we'll turn the sound up a bit. Let's put a glue compressor on this channel so that we don't peak here. Maybe we'll get the end of that. It's kind of a weird sound. Alright, what else do we have here? Let's grab that bit. And again, we want to go up 3 semitones to make it an F. Okay. Maybe we'll go back to this sound again. Maybe like this. We could go up an octave actually with that one. This might be a bit too quiet. That's a really weird waveform, isn't it? Maybe what we'll do really quick is process the sound a bit. It's almost like it's phasing out a lot. I guess we used a phaser filter on that sound, didn't we? So it's super weird. Let's try distorting it. It might be unusable actually, but that's okay. That's part of the experimentation. Let's just try a different sound. Let's grab like a section like that. Slot that in here somewhere. Roughly this length. And we've got to pitch it, remember? 1, 2, 3. Turn it up a bit. That works a bit better, doesn't it? Alright, what else we got? Yeah, let's grab one of these garagey sort of dunks. Up 3 semitones. Actually, this might work better here, wouldn't it? Dunk. Could work, could work. Let's try that. And then we want a G, so let's see what else we have. We could try that. Let's delete most of that and we'll zoom in, make sure we get the very start of it. And there's several sounds in here, so we can actually just chop at the beginning of each of those kind of sounds, and we'll just sort of force it into timing. And that is a D, and we want a G. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 semitones up. And this is very much like a happy accident sort of territory here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We could try pitching it down an octave. That might sound cool. It does sound a bit thin, so maybe we'll try a different sound here. Yeah, let's grab one of those twangs, and that might sound good. Up 5 semitones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just make sure we have the start of that. And basically, yeah, we just continue on like this. I'll see how quickly I can get something going here. I really want to use something out of here. Let's grab like that section and put it here, pitch it up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll chop it at these markers here. And yeah, oh, by the way, you can see I'm just lining things up with these markers. I think I mentioned that before. And then we'll fade them so that it sort of sounds chopped. Let's get like a bump it up, bip, bip. Let's grab that. That might sound cool. Up 5 semitones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's turn this back on now. That might actually sound better in a different spot. A lot of just messing around, really, isn't it? Yeah, that sounds better. Ba-do-ba-do. Let me extend that note a bit. And I want to keep this sound up here because that sounds kind of nice because it's vibratoed. We could probably delete that note. Actually, we could probably delete all of these. I might leave those two though because that sounds kind of nice. And then we're going to drop down to C. So we might want to use the same sound again. So we were at oh man, I shouldn't have deleted those things. Yeah, let's just rewind a bit. Okay. We'll just disable them so we can still read the note there. So we were at an F and we want to be at a C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 5 semitones. And that's getting quite low, so we'll pitch it up a octave. And we probably don't want to be hearing that. Let's get some more glitchy sounds. I think there's some weird stuff over here. Yeah, let's grab some of this. Grab some of this. And that's a D. We want to be at a C, down 2 semitones. Let's experiment with just slotting that in here. And then this sound was a bit different. Or was it different at the end? Let's grab that bit. Let's maybe try a different sound in the middle there. Let's grab one of these here. Okay. Maybe this will work, maybe it won't. That's part of the fun though. Let's drag this in. And we need to pitch this correctly. We're at a D, down 2 semitones, we've got a C. Might be a bit too low though. Let's go up an octave. Let's think here. We got some other sounds. I think I can see what we're going to do here. Let's give this a shot. I'm going to cut these samples where they sort of, where the wub is, I guess. And we'll move them so that they are landing right on our grid markers here that we've set up. Let's fade the edges so it's not so clicky. And this actually needs to be a D, so we can go up 2 semitones. Maybe we'll delete that one. You know what? Maybe we'll put this over here. We definitely want another ballsy sound here. What about that sound? That's kind of cool. How long is this tutorial getting? It's getting pretty long. Hopefully you stuck with me till this point. Hope it all makes sense as well. Let's see. Down 2 semitones, right? Let's actually chop this in half here, and then we'll go back to the D. I don't know if that sounds quite right there. Maybe, where's that really? Yeah, alright, let's use this, but we'll put it here. So we sort of have a bit of a loop happening there now. Let's remove that note there. I could actually change this note for something else. That's a D. A high D. Yeah, let's use one of these. Yeah, we'll use the higher one. Let's slot that in to right there. Make sure I get the start of the sample. Okay. Let's bring that back. Fade the edge. Okay, cool. We have to use this sound though, because we made it, we got to use it. Let's chop all these pieces up. Oh, actually, instead of that, let's warp it. We might be able to get a better result like this. So if we go to 16th notes, let's try and go like this. Just warp it a bit. We'll set it up on beats mode. I think I just like that first part. Oh, I gotta set the groove on too. Yeah, that's kind of nice. And that might be a good sound to use like as a transition kind of thing here. To sort of change up the feeling. Alright. Paste this in here and let's turn everything back on now. What we want to do is set up, here we turn the sidechain back on and that, sidechain this as well. And the percussion, we have the sidechain in, let's turn the kick and snare back on and let's hear what we got. I did something wrong, I think. What did I do wrong? Oh, I totally fucked up this copy paste, didn't I? Yes, I did. My bad. No, I fucked this copy paste up. I think I fucked them both up. Oh yeah, and this part here actually has a bit of a doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. So let's try do something with that. So let's get a really weird sound. Alright, we'll use this one. And that one. And we'll like alternate them. So let me just add another channel. Many channels. Okay. Hopefully we can get something cool going on. Alright, first of all, what key are we in? We haven't mapped out these notes. So it's a D, and then it goes D sharp, E, and the very last note is F. Okay. D sharp, E. So these two are E, right? E. And this was an F. That's just an F, actually. Wait, were these E's or E sharps? They were E's. First two are D's. And then these are D sharp. Okay. Oops. D sharp. D. Alright. Now we know where we're at. So this is already a D. So that will go nicely there. Let's get this one here. And we want a D sharp, so up one semitone. And we'll choose like a real crazy sound here. Maybe not that sound. What about that? Let's go back to this sound. Let's grab this piece. That has to be D sharp. Maybe we'll pitch it down there an octave. And we actually need to put this note here, I believe. Oh, is my measurement messed up here? It is. Okay. Yes, this actually needs to go back a bit. And that sound, and then we'll get another sound from here. And that should be E, so it's D sharp, E. Let's grab that piece. That sounds cool. To make that an E, 2 semitones up. Turn that up a bit. And then we just need an F, maybe from a different sound. Let's grab something from there. Okay. And that was a D, so 2 semitones up is an E, and then D, E, and then one more semitone is an F. Okay. And then we probably want to do some fades here. Make sure it's all nicely not clicking and whatever. Just a touch here, and let's have a listen to that. Yeah, that's pretty like glitched up and weird. I like that. We can delete this channel now, and we'll also delete this. And let's copy paste all of this over to here, except for that last little bit, because we have something going on there already. And let's have a listen to what we have now. Turn the effects back on. And I think the bass is obviously a bit too loud there, but you know. Once you lay down something like this, you can start going in and tweaking different sounds, adding a filter over this whole channel and automating the frequency of the filter, whether it be a high pass, low pass. You can also add echoes, panning to all of these notes. You can do a ton of stuff, and it's really, really fun, especially once you get that loop, that initial loop down. A lot of the hard work is already done, and it just gets more and more fun the more you go along with writing and adding detail and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys got an insight into how I do my bass lines. This is just one of the ways I do it, and yeah, I definitely like to play off of having one standard synth, one or two standard synths maybe, and then a bunch of cut up sounds, and once you add the sidechain compression and everything, it really starts to sound really cool. So cool. Hopefully you enjoy this tutorial. It's very long, but hopefully you stuck with me. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Peace.